Windfall, wonderful audience. We run, we win. I haven't done this in a few days. So let's go ahead and do this. And I was going to talk to you about how to find a racist. How do you find a racist? And you know, many people like to point out racism, but maybe I need to turn this down. But how do you find a racist? Well, this is how you find a racist. A racist is someone who keeps up bringing race. They keep bringing up race. You sitting there having a good time at a football game, and they're gonna say something about race. You're gonna see two people playing something, and they bring up race. I mean, it's really pretty simple. You at a football game having fun, and they'll say, "Hey, look! Oh, look at that black quarterback." It's like, what? You're going to be sitting in church, and then they're going to say, I mean, everybody, you at a place with 15,000 people, and they learn about Jesus and all this stuff, and then someone's going to say something about, well, you know us black people. It's really interesting. And this works with anybody, too. They'll bring up race. So that's how you can spot a racist. Not by what people think, but every time you turn around, they saying something about race. They saying something about race. They saying something about race. And that's how you find it. And they like to point. Here's another thing. Racists like to call other people racist who aren't racist. I mean, really. Racists like to point the finger at other people so you don't know they're racist. Because they keep, I mean, really, a racist, I keep bringing it up. February come around, Black History Month, Black History Month. I mean, come on. Yes. People who happen to be African American in heritage have achieved a lot of wonderful things. But what about Christian History Month? What about Hispanic History Month? What about Korean History Month? What about Japanese History Month? What about Chinese History Month? What about Middle Eastern History Month? What about Israeli History Month? What about English History Month? What about German History Month? What about Mexican History Month? What about Venezuelan History Month? What about Grecian History Month? What about Italian History Month? What about French History Month? You get my point? We ain't got time for this. Either we're all going to be Americans, or we're going to be blacks, or whites, or Irish, or stuff like that. So I'm telling you, that you watch out. People who keep bringing up race, I don't care if they're preachers or not. If they keep bringing it up, that means it's foremost on their mind. Racism is foremost on their mind, and that's why it's a problem. Because it's foremost on their mind. They go somewhere and they're like, oh, I'm black and I'm surrounded by all these white people, and those white people don't even know you're black till you open up your mouth and say, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. So it's really, really bad, but I'm serious. And it's really bad. And I really don't like when they lie and call people racist who ain't racist. If you a criminal, you a criminal. It has nothing to do with whether you're black or whether you're white. You criminal. And that's just it. If you're a criminal, then you're a criminal. And people who like to do bring race, what's that have to do with anything? They're looking for a burglar. The burglar happens to look like he black. That's not anything racist. He just happened to be black. I mean, if you black and you go up into somebody's house and you ain't supposed to, you a criminal. I mean, you can't be doing, oh, he was innocent. Well, wait a second. Innocent is if somebody just grabs you and assaults you. A police officer assaults you for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Not you walking in the middle of the night and should have been home. You 14 and should have been home. Not they tell you to stop. I mean, listen, they tell you to stop. They looking for a, you a 78-year-old lady. They tell you to stop. You say you ain't got to stop. You try to jump over a fence and and you die in the process. That ain't their fault. They told you to stop. They think you a criminal because you jumping over a fence that ain't yours. In the end, guys, we just really have to quit it. We really just have to. Are you gonna play the racist thing constantly, or are you gonna not? So that's what I mean. So that's how you know. If you want to know someone, it's always on their mind. They can't do. Here's another thing about racism. Well, we'll leave it at that. It's always on their mind. So that's how you should listen. If you're just sitting around talking, having fun, and someone bring up black, you might be having. I mean, we're talking about all the time. All the time. You can't go a week without them posting something about being black, being black, being black. Well, they're black people in Trinidad. They're black people in Africa. In fact, they're black. They're people who have black skin in India. we have some Middle Eastern people who have black skin. There are other places where the people are black. You even got English people who are black. So does it work over there? Their skin is black and they look like they came from Africa, but they ain't African American. They African English. So it really boils down to what you want to do. If you're going to identify yourself with your skin, then that's just it. All you'll be doing is just hanging around. Ooh, 6. Does that make sense? Are you going to identify yourself solely by by your skin color? If that's the case, then that means you just like the rest of the people, you know? What's that have to do with anything? Really, I'm serious. So don't do that. And don't hang around with people who constantly talk about that, because they're alienating themselves. I mean, think about it. I mean, come on. You can't even enjoy Bruce Lee fully if all you talk about is black. I mean, come on. Hey, if you talk about being Spanish all the time and all you can talk about is Spanish, Spanish this, Spanish History Month, Spanish, there's a problem. And I'm just letting you know that's how you find out racists. It don't matter if they be Irish racists. They're always talking about Irish, always talking about, well, I mean, if they're Irish, they won't be able to talk about, but what about that? If they always keep bringing up, what is it like to be Irish American? Well, in order to be Irish American, technically, you would have come from Ireland, like within the first or second generation. But if you like 5th generation Irish American, you just American. If you don't have the Irish accent, then there's a good chance. I mean, come on, really? But anyway, so I just want to encourage you, don't play those games. That's dangerous. I'm serious, don't play these games. And stay away from people who do that too. Because what if you do, I mean, think about it. I mean, and while I'm at, okay. So don't do it. I'm serious, y'all. Don't do that. I don't want you ever to do that. Don't play those games. Don't hang around with people who keep bringing up race. I don't care if you're Chinese. If you're with somebody and they keep talking about Chinese this, Chinese that, and they're living inside of America, land of the free, home of the brave, then there might be a problem. You need to ask the Lord, Jesus, why is so-and-so always bringing up, why is he always bringing up this? I mean, really seriously, you need to find out why they always bringing this up. So that's it. That's what I would say. You need to stay away from people always doing that. We need to support each other. No, we got all ethnic groups in the United States of America, and we don't have time to play that game. I mean, that's kind of funny too. You think about it. They talk about black, white, but wait, when they call the police, they need the police to show up. When they call the insurance company or their bank, they don't care what that person looked like. When they go to the doctor, do they care? I mean, really? You know, you want the best doctor working on you. You don't care if his last name is Korean. You don't care if he's Korean, Indian, whatever, El Salvadorian. So that's why I say don't play around with it. I'm serious. Stay away from people who play that game. That is not funny. That is not funny. It looks like the double works better for those things. So I just want to encourage you, stay away from it. Stay away from racism and the people who like to always, I mean, really, if you keep finding yourself hanging around with them people, you need to get away from them, because it means that they into racism. They're going to say something they don't need to say. That includes all racism. I mean, if it's always coming up. So, no use in belaboring it, right? You get my point, right? Don't play with racism. Don't play with racists. And keep your eyes open too. It's not a joke. I mean, really, seriously. If somebody gets elected into office and they talk about that person like they were Jesus Christ come in the flesh, it's not a joke. I've seen it. I've seen it. It's like they don't care what the person does. The person's literally has done stuff straight from hell, but because they black, you know, it's like, who cares? Oh, they're black, so they're still on our side. Oh, it's something like that. I mean, come on. We fought a civil war over slavery. I mean, come on. Not a black soul not a black soul was in not a black soul signed that amendment to free slavery. There were no black people in Congress. So for you to sit there and pretend that America's mean and we got all this whites, black and white, come on. And then you had black people who helped fight the Civil War, but the Civil War was fought in the United States of America. White people started the Civil War. Don't be playing that game talking about America. So that's right. That it's good that ended. Jesus is Lord. Love y'all. And remember, live, move, be.